Thing recording. Hey everyone, it's your boy Terry. There's your boy Henry. We're outside on this beautiful March afternoon. He's shooting some hoops. I'm here to make a video for you. Sorry it's been a few days. Just hasn't been a whole lot going on. And I've been deep in prep for Billy Joel night, which is 2 nights from now. I'll get into that in just a minute. I've also been hard at work finishing up the Downton Stabby script. We did have our first read-through on Monday night. That went very well at the Iron Pier. I apologize for forgetting to make an introductory video. I wanted y'all to meet the cast. But our next rehearsal is Wednesday of next week, so we'll be... I'll make sure I put a video up on Wednesday night. Somebody remind me, make a video on Wednesday. Right here at the front of the Ponderosa here, the O'Brien Ponderosa in beautiful downtown Irma, New Jersey. So just wanted to say hello. I know it's been a couple days. I'm real excited about Saturday night. We're T-minus 2 days until Billy Joel night, 8 o'clock on Saturday, the 31st, at Cabanas in Cape May. Same place we're doing the Beatles shows. Real excited to work with this band. We have, of course, myself as the ringleader and the lead singer, and the apparent Billy Joel lookalike for this band. I keep gotten that a lot over the years. You know, you look just like Billy Joel. I'm like, thanks, I think. Though he did land Chrissy Brinkley there for a while, so I'll take it. And of course, you know Al Olivero, our drummer. He's also in the Beatles band. We have Dave Landis as our first chair keyboard player. He's been around forever with the Waterbugs. He played with David Christopher back in the day. We're all a bunch of old white guys in this band. Then you have, of course, another old white guy, Walt Sapside Jr. is our bass player. He is a fantastic player. And I give Walt this look about once a night when he hits a wrong note, because he hits about one wrong note a night on average. He'll go 50 nights with hitting 0 wrong notes, and then he'll do 2 or 3 in a show, and you're like, oh my gosh, Walt, you okay? You feeling all right? You hit a wonky note there. You okay? He's as solid as they come on the bass. Also a gifted guitar player. And you'll be hearing him sing all the high harmonies on the Billy Joel stuff this weekend. Who else is in that band? Me, Al, Dave, Walt. We have 2 new members, newish members. You know Sue Pulser from the Beatles band. She's been in the Beatles band for 3 years now. And she is our second chair keyboard player. So she's playing a lot of the instrumental fills, the vibraphone, electric piano kind of stuff. She's also playing some live sax and flute on a number of songs that really just kind of brings our sound to a whole different level, having that extra layer of instrumentalization in there. Is that a word? Did I say that right? So yeah, I remember leaning over to Dave Landis during one of our first rehearsals and saying, oh, man, it's a whole new ball game. Having that live sax and that live flute really adds a lot. And our new guitar player, a young man named Steve Kyle, he's the outlier. He's the young guy in the band. He's the young, good-looking one with all the hair. He's been doing a great job on guitar. Guitar player in the Billy Joel band is kind of an unheralded position. It's like, you know, being the piano player in a Beatles band. There's not a whole lot of it, but what's in there is it is insidiously more complicated than it sounds. Yes, there's not a whole lot of Billy Joel, ding, 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 lead guitar parts. But what's in there is very complicated, and Steve's been doing a great job handling all the subtleties of those parts. It was trash day today, so we're wrangling our trash cans here. Got the old 50-gallon drum. That holds about half our weekly trash load. So anyway, we're really looking forward to Saturday night, 8 o'clock at Cabanas. The first Downton Stabby rehearsal was basically just a table read. Everyone sitting down, getting acclimated with their parts, me giving some general directing notes, just being able to hear out loud some of the stuff that's working, some of the stuff that's not working, trying to get it down to a reasonable running time. A bit different from previous shows I've written and directed. We're going to do a couple of scenes during dinner service to kind of set up the tone of the evening. And then when dinner is complete, we're going to do the main body show, I've been calling it. And that's going to run about 60 to 75 minutes. Your whole experience is going to start at 6:30, and it should be over about 9:15, 9:30. We'll know more on April 26th when we have our opening night. But in that cast, you'll meet them all on Wednesday. But we have myself, of course, the greatest actor, writer, director in the world. We have The young guy in this crew is Kevin Ebner. He is playing a number of roles. I don't want to spoil it too much for you, but if you saw Downton Stabby in 2015, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you'll be, I hope, quite pleasantly surprised with the array of roles that Kevin is playing, and so far he's doing a great job with all of them. And each one has a different accent, different costume. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you saw last year's Sherlock show, where I played 6 parts, a couple of those crossover, but Kevin's going to do all different stuff than I would ever think of doing. Our rest of our cast, we have, of course, Chris Nagel. You might know Chris from WIBG. He is the program director there and one of the online personalities, 94.3 WIBG. That's an oldie station. Chris and I worked together briefly years ago at Elaine's, and also briefly years ago when he was at 98.7 The Coast, and he brought me in to be the Saturday morning 80s guy. That was interesting. Then I was replaced, of course, by a piece of technology, so I'm not bitter at all about that. I could be Howard Stern now, and I'm not. Our female cast members, I'll be bringing with me a couple of holdovers from Elaine's. Rebecca Sundstrom. She'll be reprising the roles that she originated in the 2015 run of Downton Stabby. Roles, plural. Everyone plays at least 2 parts in the show except me, of course. I gave myself 1 part, 1 costume, probably 5 times as many lines to learn as everyone else, but I think it's worth the trade-off. After my last couple of shows, having 1 costume on is going to be like a vacation, mini vacation. But Becca's going to do a great job, as she did before. Becca has also been taking vocal lessons, so I've added a song in for Becca that she's been rehearsing. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Really fits into the tone of the show and the tone of her scene in general. This song appears. It's a 70s disco classic. I won't spoil it for you, but you can probably guess. Female disco 70s classic. It's a pretty short list to choose from there. And then, of course, we have Amy Lynn Plantarich. She's also playing a couple of roles. Everyone's playing roles of varying sizes and genders in this show, which adds to adds a layer of fun to it. Because nothing's funnier than a man in a dress or a woman in a tuxedo, you know. And Amy really showed me a lot last year at my previous place of employment. Talented young lady. She goes out with Kevin, so don't try to, you know. I know you're going to want to, but she's with Kevin, and he'll bust you up. I'm just kidding. They're a fine young couple. And she's also very, very talented. I'm sure she's going to find out by watching this that she's going to be doing most of the choreography for this show. There's only about 4 songs in it, and ding, 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 ding. If you've seen my choreography before, you don't need to do much to raise the bar on that. And then we have what's called a female swing understudy. A swing understudy sort of learns all the parts of a certain gender. And that's going to be Miranda DeLong. You saw Miranda at Elaine's last year. She was kind of on a part-time basis, but she was a lot of fun in Young Dracula, where she played Carolina Franklin, I think was her name. I wrote the damn thing, I can't remember. But she's going to bring her sprightly presence to our rehearsals, and you know, just having an extra set of eyes on things never hurts. And in the event one of my female leads falls ill, has a scheduling conflict, she will step right in there and do a great job, I'm certain. She's also going to help me choreograph, which she doesn't know yet. And she's a very, very gifted singer with a pristine ear, so she's also going to help me put the harmonies together and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really solid cast. I'm still looking for a male swing. I got a couple people I'm going to call. The guy we had lined up lived 100 miles from here, took a different job, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And I wish him nothing but the best. He's up working with my old friend Ryan Long up in the Toms River area at the in Lakewood at the Strand. And he's also taking on a couple of summer projects, which precluded him from joining us. That was Jeff Cleve. Hope he has a great season. If something shakes out, maybe he comes down and joins us later in the year. I believe my boy Angelo Rotundi is going to be helping us with lights and sound, which we still have yet to acquire. So get your friends on that Patreon so we get enough money flowing there to buy this light tree. The light tree we need is about $220. We also need a fog machine, which is about $50. So we're looking at about $250 to $300 worth of gear we need. I know some of you have offered to purchase those items for us. If the Patreon doesn't kick up in the next few days and I need a little help with this piece or that, I will certainly let you know. I also want to, this week, purchase the software and hardware I need to get the podcast up and running. I got a couple of firm ideas on what I want to do with that. Just need the gear. That's all. I just wanted to give an update on how the show's proceeding. The Billy Joel and Downton Stabby both are going to be a great time. At 10 minutes already, but at least I'm talking about stuff this week. Also, a couple other sort of pop culture things. I was never a big Roseanne fan in its first run in the 80s and early 90s, I believe. I just always sort of found her off-putting. Just wasn't not her person, just her style of comedy didn't jive with mine. I was more of the absurdist Stephen Wright kind of guy. Her brand of comedy just never struck me. But over the last few years, she's been great on Twitter and the social media. And I did watch the first episode of her new season. I guess they're calling it season 10, where she is a very big Donald Trump supporter, and her sister was a very big Hillary Clinton backer, and the friction that causes between them is very funny. I, of course, am a little right of center, so I found common ground, plenty to laugh at in that first episode. Look forward to watching the rest of that season. Maybe I'll go back and watch the old seasons now too, because I'm always looking for something new to binge on the Netflix or the Hulu or the what have yous. So, and the great thing about that show is that the comedy goes both ways. Most, those of you who are conservative like me, or slightly conservative or slightly to the right, know that in most Hollywood-produced entertainment, the political comedy goes one way, which I understand. It just doesn't make it much fun to watch, especially during the Bush years. That seemed to happen a lot, and it's happening now, of course, during the Trump years. I can't get through 15 seconds of Saturday Night Live these days because it's just the same old. I don't mind my point of view being made fun of, just not in lazy, hackneyed, repeated, the same old ways over and over. But I digress. So if you're looking for a fun new comedy, then the new Roseanne fit the bill for me. Also, I'm really, really, really enjoying the new book